Hello and welcome to Crooked House Gaming. Here at Crooked House Gaming, we like to explore the gameplay of simulation games, usually through a series of Let's Plays. In this episode, we continue to explore the gameplay of Democracy 4. Democracy 4 is a political sim that lets you choose the role of a world leader and govern a country. If this sounds like something you'd be interested in, be sure to hit that like button. And if you're new here, welcome. And be sure to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any future episodes. Today, we're going to continue to explore the gameplay as Prime Minister of Canada. We are presently in the third year of our fourth term as Prime Minister of Canada. When I hit that button, we will be entering the first term of our third year of our fourth term as Prime Minister of Canada. Let's see how we did. Unemployment is up. DNA database. There's the urgent policy question that requires your immediate attention. Police chiefs are requesting that they be allowed to build up a global database of everyone's DNA to assist them in fighting crime. DNA evidence allows many previously unsolvable crimes to be tracked to the perpetrators, although there are privacy concerns. Allow database. This is likely to be an invaluable weapon in the fight against crime. For too long, criminals have been able to deny responsibility for their crimes. And with DNA evidence, we can substantially cut police time used to locate criminals such as murderers and rapists. Unless people have something to hide, they cannot possibly oppose such a measure. Prevent database. This is a fundamental breach of our citizens' human rights. We have to maintain an individual's presumption of innocent till proven guilty, and building up a Big Brother style database of everyone makes us all feel like criminals. Are we really going to force our citizens to provide DNA samples to the state or face jail? Criminal only database. Let's take a practical approach. DNA taken from suspects can be held indefinitely on a police database, but there should be no widespread collection of innocent people's DNA unless they are charged with an offense. We're going to go with criminal only database. The Liberals are unhappy at -5%, crime goes down at -1%, violent crime goes down at -2%. Budget report. The international credit rating agencies rate our government as a C. This is a bad sign. It is pushing up the rate of interest we pay on our debt. We must address this. Economic forecast. Good news. The global economy is doing well and is having a positive effect on our GDP. Cabinet report. The loyalty of your ministers can best be described as fanatical. Their effectiveness is generally considered to be good. Polls report. People are indifferent to your government. We estimate getting 52% of the vote in an election. We have 31 political capital to spend because we have emergency powers. When situations in country gets especially bad, normal political rivalries are set aside and the whole system gets behind the government to ensure urgent legislation can be passed and vital policies enacted. For the duration of these difficulties, more political capital is available. We have emergency powers because we are in the middle of a debt crisis. Our level of government debt has started to cause severe fiscal problems. The government's debts have pushed interest rates so high, mortgage costs are becoming unaffordable to the middle classes. At the same time, fears of a possible government default on its debts are driving away business investment from overseas, affecting our GDP, and these fears are also affecting small and large businesses alike. This debt crisis is greatly affecting the middle income. Middle income, traditionally a large section of population, but liable to shrink if inequality rises. The middle classes are generally politically moderate, employed car owners enjoying a holiday each year and aspire to own their own home outright. The middle classes have a stake in society that they will not want to lose to civil unrest or crime, often leading to centralist views. Their happiness has gone up slightly due to the mortgage tax relief that we have been enacting, and we did try to lower the inheritance tax slightly. We also enacted some health tax credits. GDP, the gross domestic product of a country. This is defined as the total market value of all the goods and services produced within the nation within a year. This is a good general purpose measure of the strength of your economy and the nation's overall wealth. One of the contributing factors is the global economic cycle, which tends to be cyclical and is beyond your control. We are having a problem with unemployment. Unemployment, at its simplest, this is the count of percentage of population who aren't gainfully employed, adjusted to admit those citizens who are not actively seeking work for one reason or another. Compulsory work for the unemployed. Everyone receiving unemployment benefits now has to do some work every week or risk payment cut in their benefits. This includes public beautification, collecting litter, and other tasks that do not risk any jobs. The goal of this is to make use of the major workforce and get people back into work routine, hopefully resulting in them getting jobs soon. No one should expect to live off the state without working. This is going to lower the poor. This will increase the GDP. This will increase capitalism. This will lower socialism. This will increase the middle income. This will lower unemployment, and this will lower the public's view of us as compassionate. We were going to implement this policy. Right now we have it for the the most unemployed. We're going to keep it in the most unemployed, and we will apply the changes. We have 6 political capital to spend. In our last episode, we lost our technological edge. Technology, a general index of the level of technological sophistication of the country, including the percentage of citizens with internet access, high-speed broadband, as well as technological understanding of students and the capabilities of industry. A high technological index boosts international competitiveness. Tax incentives may be required to attract high-tech industry. Prices of rare earth metals has been going up. We are going to invest a little bit more into rare earth metal mining, support a national initiative for rare earth metal mining in order to make the country's industry and high-tech production less dependent on imports from foreign countries. The extraction process is not good for the environment, but our technological advancement depends on rare earth metals. Environmentalists are furious. This is 82% popular with the vote. Right now we have widespread extraction. We are going to use 5 political capital to increase this. This will reduce the price of rare earth metals. This will infuriate the environmentalists, but it will slightly improve the capitalist views of us. Let us apply the changes. We have 1 political capital to spend. You take a look at our expenditure. We're expending into rare earth metal mining. We are expending into science funding. This is to increase our technological advantage, which we lost. We are going to invest in recycling. Supporters of recycling argue that dumping waste in landfills just isn't a long-term solution, and the government needs to show the way by providing facilities to recycle as many waste materials as possible. This might include recycling newspapers, cardboard, bottles, and even some plastics. This is 100% popular with the vote. We're going to invest our last political capital, and we will apply the changes. We have 0 political capital to spend, and thus we are at the end of our first term of our 3rd year of our 4th term as Prime Minister of Canada. Let's hit that button. We will now be entering the 2nd term of our 3rd year of our 4th term as Prime Minister of Canada. Let's see how we did. Pipeline protests. Building of an oil pipeline has sparked fierce protests as it crosses land owned by a community of native citizens. They are strongly against the environmental impact and have garnered international attention and support from across the globe. The environmentalists are unhappy at -8%. Ethnic minorities are unhappy at -11%. Foreign relations are down at -6%. Budget report. Our credit rating is worryingly just a C. We need to fix this either through growing our GDP, cutting expenditure, or increasing taxation. Polls report the government is not popular amongst its citizens. Only 25% of them intend to vote for you in the next election. Economic forecast. Good news. The global economy is doing well, and this is having a positive effect on our GDP. Cabinet report. The loyalty of your ministers can best be described as fanatical. Their effectiveness is generally considered to be good. We have 29 political capital to spend. It appears that our welfare cabinet member is unhappy with us. Let's take a look at our cabinet. She is with the motorists and the capital. Let's look at some potential ministers. Eloise Poria. She is with state employees and minorities. She would bring 2.1 political capital. She doesn't have the best experience. We are going to fire our welfare minister, and we'll use 2 political capital to do so. We are going to hire Eloise Poria. We have 27 political capital to spend. We are still in the middle of a debt crisis. We also have to be concerned about unemployment. Perhaps Canada will create a space program of its own. Invest in your country's efforts to explore space as well as the purely scientific benefits. A well-funded space program will boost the level of technological expertise throughout the entire economy. It will also unite the country and encourage patriotism. This is 97% popular with the vote. This will lower unemployment. This will increase technology, our internet speed. State employees will go up. Religious membership will go down and will be seen as a strong leader. Let us implement Canada's space program. Right now we have satellites. We are going to raise this to reusable rockets, and we will apply the changes. We have 3 political capital to spend. Foreign investor tax breaks. Special tax breaks given to large foreign-owned multinational countries to encourage them to invest in our country. This would include tax-free periods, introductory rates of corporate tax, and straight subsidies to encourage investment. Helps to encourage investment from overseas, but will be seen as incredibly unpatriotic and pandering to the whims of huge foreign capitalist organizations. This is 0% popular with the vote, but we are going to raise this to maximum. We are going to use 2 political capital. We will apply the changes. We have 1 political capital to spend. Self-employed. The self-employed also include people who run small businesses such as plumbers and electricians. Entrepreneurs and small business owners are opposed to too much state regulation and workers' rights as they come with bureaucratic costs. They also feel the effects of taxes on sales and capital gains that come from owning your own business. Work safety law, often known as health and safety, is a series of measures to ensure employees are not at risk from injury in their day-to-day activities. Trade unionists often hail such laws as valuable defense against unscrupulous employers who may put lives at risk. Many business leaders are concerned at the high level of bureaucracy and restrictive practices that can result from such laws, which they see as a burden on business. We're going to use our last political capital, and we will lower this to medium, hopefully helping out the self-employed. We will apply the changes. We have 0 political capital to spend, and thus we are at the end of our second term of our third year of our fourth term as Prime Minister of Canada. Let's hit that button. We will now be entering the third term of our third year of our fourth term as Prime Minister of Canada. Let's see how we did. Power lines. There is an urgent policy question that requires your immediate attention. Angry citizens are protesting against a project to build power lines through their villages. These power lines are necessary to further increase use of renewable energy sources. Not building them would be an economic setback, but if you ignore the citizens, this will make them even angrier and supportive of their cause. Build the power lines anyways. Nobody wants power lines near their houses, but they have to be built somewhere. And until recently, these people have been demanding more clean energy. Power lines will be built. Stop construction. There are alternative ways to explore, like underground power lines, and there are claims that the health of those living near power lines may be in danger. It is better to be safe than sorry. We're going to stop construction and explore underground power lines. Everyone is happy at plus 5%. The farmers are happy at plus 6%. The capitalists are unhappy at negative 7%. Poverty is up. Situation is imminent. Our data is showing that we have a potentially bad situation. Corporate exodus on our hands if we do not act soon. Budget report. International Credit Rating Agency rates our government as AC. This is a bad sign. It's pushing up the rate of interest we pay on our debt. We must address this. Polls report. Your approval rating is disappointing. If we believe the polls, you will get just 18% of the vote. Economic forecast. Good news. The global economy is doing well and is having a positive effect on our GDP. Cabinet report. The loyalty of your ministers can best be described as fanatical. Their effectiveness is generally considered to be fair. We have 28 political capital to spend. Compulsory work for the unemployed. Everyone receiving unemployment benefits now has to do some work every week or risk payment cut in their benefits. This includes public beautification, collecting litter, and other tasks that do not risk any jobs. The goal is to make use of this major workforce and get people back into a work routine, hopefully resulting in them getting jobs soon. Nobody should expect to live off the state without working. The popularity with voters is 80%. This will increase our GDP slightly. We are going to invest 14 political capital. We are going to require all unemployed individuals to do some work every week or risk their payments of their benefits being cut. We will apply the changes. We have 14 political capital to spend. The space program. This will lower unemployment. This will increase our technology. We are going to invest 11 political capital and build Canada a space station. We will apply the changes. We have 3 political capital to spend. State Energy Company, a state-owned and run electricity company that allows the government to subsidize energy production if it chooses to do so. We are going to invest 2 political capital in this. This will slightly lower unemployment. We will apply the changes. We have 1 political capital to spend. Needle exchange program. Drug addiction itself is bad enough already, and dirty or infected needles are an additional danger for drug addicts. To help out, the needle exchange program will help the addicts get clean needles for their needs while also offering them help in getting clean and living a normal life again. Conservatives may think of this as enabling. Liberals see it as a good way to fight drug abuse in the long run. This is 90% popular with the vote. We are going to use 1 political capital. We will apply the changes. We have 0 political capital to spend, and thus we are at the end of our third term of our third year of our fourth term as Prime Minister of Canada. Let's hit that button. We will now be entering the fourth term of our third year of our fourth term as Prime Minister of Canada. Let's see how we did. Streamer offers birthday song. There is an urgent policy question that requires your immediate attention. A popular internet streamer is offering to sing for you on your birthday in public. She is known for her tiny dresses and adult-themed songs, making her very popular among young people. Accept the offer. It is a great honor and will help you gain popularity with young people all over the country. Let's just hope it's cold and she wears something less revealing than usual. Decline the offer. She may be famous and successful, but clearly it's not a role model for our youth. Let's keep this celebration small and decent and focus on important political issues. We'll accept the offer. Our country needs something to be happy about. The youth are happy at plus 11%. The parents are unhappy at negative 5%. The conservatives are unhappy at negative 11%. Budget report. report, our credit rating is worryingly just a C. We need to fix this either through growing our GDP, cutting expenditure, or increasing taxation. Polls report the government is not popular amongst its citizens. Only 25% of them intend to vote for you in the next election. Economic forecast. Good news, the global economy is doing well, and this is having a positive effect on our GDP. Cabinet report, the loyalty of your ministers can best be described as fanatical. Their effectiveness is generally considered to be fair. Achievement unlocked. Ecotopia. It seems everything these days is carbon neutral, recycled, and made from 100% organic hemp or some such. You've become a true hero of the environmental movement. Expect a nice green statue made of recycled plastic. We have 28 political capital to spend. Rare earth metal mining. Support national initiatives for rare earth metal mining in order to make the country's industry and high-tech production less dependent on imports from foreign countries. The extraction process is not good for the environment, but our technological advancement depends on rare earth metals. Environmentalists are furious. We are going to use 5 political capital to go all the way to the end, and we will apply the changes. We have 23 political capital to spend. School vouchers, a measure designed to encourage the growth of private schooling while still enabling everyone to afford education. School vouchers are issued by the state to parents for each child, which they can then spend in the private sector on education. This is a different approach to pure state schooling because with school vouchers, schools are privately run and the teachers are no longer state employees. This is 100% popular with the vote. This will increase equality. This will increase private schooling. This will lower poverty. Our poverty has been going up. This will increase capitalism, and this will help everyone. Let's implement this policy. We'll raise this slightly. We'll keep it in the medium range, and we will apply the changes. We have 14 political capital to spend. Airline tax. Airline fuel has generally not been subject to taxation. Supporters of air fuel taxes insist that this results in an unfair subsidy on an environmentally destructive form of transport. Airlines point out that taxing airline fuel would just encourage them to refuel elsewhere, thereby diverting funds from our economy. We're going to use 4 political capital, and we are going to raise this to 33%. We will apply the changes. Oil drilling subsidies to encourage the investment in new oil and gas drilling and thus raise the supply of fossil fuel energy for the country. These tax breaks effectively subsidize fossil fuel. This will indirectly reduce the fuel prices and stimulate the economy, but it will be an outrage to the environmentalists. It is 0% popular with the vote. We are going to lower this and get back a slight amount of money for our government. We will apply the changes. We have a political capital to spend. Nuclear fission is arguably a renewable source of energy which dramatically reduces CO2 emissions and reduces oil and gas demand, but it can be expensive to produce and comes with problems concerning waste and decommissioning. Environmentalists tend to prefer wind and solar energy instead. Right now, we have a decommission at the end of life. We are going to invest 7 political capital and go into expansion. This will reduce oil demand. We will apply the changes. We have 1 political capital to spend. Work safety law. Work safety law, often known as health and safety, is a series of measures to ensure employees are not at risk from injury in their day-to-day activities. Trade unionists often hail such laws as valuable defense against unscrupulous employers who may put lives at risk. Many business leaders are concerned at the high level of bureaucracy and restrictive practices that can result from such laws, which they see as a burden on business. We'll use 1 political capital to lower this. We will apply the changes. We have 0 political capital to spend, and thus we are at the end of our 4th term of our 3rd year of our 4th term as Prime Minister of Canada. Thus we are at the end of this episode. Thank you so much for stopping by our Crooked House. If you like what you saw, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you want to follow our future episodes. It really helps us out. Have a great week. See you soon.